Good afternoon, everyone. It's Jeanette Martin, the brand ambassador for ethical flooring, and it's fast facts and features. And it's also the month of love. February tends to be the month that everybody starts talking about love. And I think, Kevin, I think the world needs to hear more love stories. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's only the 2nd, and I know February 14th is like the day that we celebrate love, but we need love all year round, and we need to hear stories about love. And considering I kind of plan these out for us, our get-togethers and your project managers and the suppliers, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Kevin about love. I know he loves his wife. I know he loves his children, but I'd love to know, Kevin, what you love about what you do, what your team does, and what you love about this industry.
Ooh, that's wow. That's a big topic and a lot to bite into. So what was the first question? Let's take it one by one, I guess, there.
Yeah, because we'll do it for 10 minutes, and we might need to cut it off in part 2 because it's still before February 14th, next Wednesday. Tell us, Kevin, what you love about what you do on a daily basis and what you love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jeanette. It's a funny trajectory how I ended up here. Obviously I came from a flooring background or a flooring family. My dad was involved in it, and also his uncle, which is my great uncle, was also involved in it. So I grew up in that environment, but it wasn't anything that anyone ever suspected that I would go into, including myself. So I ended up going to university, obtaining a bachelor's degree in psychology and double minor in criminology, and I had some plans with that, but I ended up through a number of events, ended up in the flooring industry, which I'd been working at part-time during my university days. So yeah, I mean, I have these credentials and this education I spent, a lot of money and a lot of time at, but I actually really, really love what I do. And one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest reasons, is the allowance for creativity.
Okay.
So a lot of people may not know I'm not creative in the sense that I can do art or I can draw. I think artistic ability was the first thing that my children surpassed me at, or were better at than me in their milestones. And I think that happened around age 5. But I really enjoy, the ability to test things, to try things, to create new systems, to create different ways of showing product, different way of communication, just all of these things that maybe people wouldn't normally think as being creative outlets, but for me and my personality, they are. So the freedom and the ability to do that, and to kind of, if I have an idea, I've always, since I was a boy, had lots of ideas and didn't obviously act on most of them, but if I have an idea on how to improve something here, I get to try it out and execute it, and that's probably my favorite thing.
Okay, I'm going to unpack a couple of things, because we may need to have part 2 of your team next Wednesday in the industry, and the following Wednesday, because this is the month of love. How did your parents set you up? Because you said it was a family business. How did your parents set you up to love what you were doing? I often say that in the morning when we get up and we go, thank you, God, for giving me the bed to rest in, and beating my heart while I slept so I could get a good night's rest. And I get to say, like today, this morning, I wake up, I get to talk to Kevin today. Like, I get to do these amazing things in life. So how did your parents and your great uncle set you up to continue to love what you do?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest influence for both of them, I came from a German/Austrian family background. First generation immigrants. I was the first generation born in Canada, and I was raised from birth with a strong work ethic. You could call it a German, very straightforward. This is what is expected, and this is how you're going to do it. And there is no option for failure in that type of environment. And it wasn't a harsh environment by any means, but there was no other expectation other than that you would work hard and that you would provide for your own success in life. you know, and that wore off on me, and I saw success in my great uncle, especially. You know, my dad, over time, it took quite a number of decades in the industry before finally towards the end of his career, I could say he was really successful at it. But yeah, they really instilled a hard work ethic and a never give up attitude. In my family, in my greater extended family, nobody ever gave up at anything ever. So, and it wasn't, again, like I said, it wasn't a harsh thing. It was something that I just really, really appreciated. And, you know, as a boy or as you're growing up, you don't appreciate kind of the environment and the influences that it has on you. But as I look back, you know, my grandparents that were really involved in my life, and again, first generation immigrants coming from Germany, yeah, all of that rubbed off. And, you know, I entered life as an adult ready to try and succeed, you know, and give everything I had, and not expect anything from anybody to give me or to hand out to me, but I had to earn it myself.
So my next question then is, we're moving from your parents. Let's go to Tanya. So how do you keep Tanya, your incredible wife, keeping the love of the business going? I know you've got a rock solid marriage, but how do you keep a husband and wife, business partner, loving what you guys do on a daily basis, yearly basis, monthly basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I can't even remember exactly when I started working side by side with Tanya. It was at our previous place of employment, and we were growing so fast after I joined there that we needed somebody, and she was the natural fit because we were going to grow in this industry together. That was the plan. So I'd hazard to guess maybe 15 years we've been working together in the flooring industry. And a lot of that was literally side by side in the showroom together, sitting side by side in an office. And, you know, a lot of people would come in, and a lot of sales reps, a lot of clients, and they'd look at us and say, "You're married?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You work together?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." "You're still married?" And I'm like,
"Yes." Yes, yes.
They're like, "Well, I could never do that." I'm like,
yeah.
So we found a way, and we found, you know, we always separated our duties, so we're not really on top of each other. And back in those days, and I was out on the road most of the time doing estimates and that type of thing. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of overlap, but and now especially we're even more so as our kids have grown. You know, our roles in the company have really changed. But yeah, I mean, almost nightly when I come home for dinner, we end up talking about the business, at least to some respect, right? And it's just, again, yeah, it's something fun and creative that we've built together, right? And it's almost like our third child, I suppose. And you know, there's joy in that, and especially, you know, as it's succeeded and as it's grown. And you know, we just added a major milestone for us yesterday that actually you don't even know about. We added a new position at Ethical Flooring, actually as a store manager, which is the first for us. So we're super excited about that. So yeah, just as we grow and you know, as we creatively build this together, and we each have our strengths, and we bounce ideas back off of each other, right? I'll think of things she hasn't thought of, and vice versa, and we hold each other accountable. And you know, between the two minds, and then obviously the great people that we've invited to join the team, it's just working, and we're really thankful for that.
Well, I think that's a great place to leave it off. I'm excited to meet your new store manager. And let's continue this conversation next Wednesday for what does Kevin love about his team at Ethical Flooring. And now we'll get into that. This is the month of love. And, you know, like I said at the beginning, we need to hear more love stories out there, whether they're in business or community connections, or even a great husband and wife team that does business together day in and day out. So thank you so much, Kevin. You've inspired
That's fun.
me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. And my team, our team, is my favorite part about this business, bar none. So I'm looking forward to next week. Absolutely.
So you'll want to stay tuned. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here, Facebook Live on the Ethical Flooring Facebook page. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.